the difference with return risk. In retirement, there's tons of risks, right? There's interest rate risk, there's return risk, there's tax risk. There's probably four or five other risks that I can't think of off the top of my head. But my responsibility is to really educate people and understand how do you prevent this kind of disaster from happening. Welcome back to another episode of Wealth Strategies to Value. I'm your host, Troy Shorts, and today we're going to talk about sequence of return risk. Not sure if you've ever heard of that before, but it's very, very important. Our podcast is devoted to financial literacy, and we believe we live in the richest country in the world, and we have the least amount of financial literacy in the world. So my purpose in visiting with you today is to really just give you some financial literacy. Here at Shorts and Associates, our goal is to help our clients have an easier, safer, and a much more enjoyable retirement. And after you see what we're going to talk about today, you're going to see how some people, unfortunately, may not have the retirement that they're anticipating having. So we did a scenario here. I'm going to share a PDF with you on Mr. Green and Mr. Brown. There's two people. Now, those colors might mean something because Mr. Green is probably going to be doing a little better than Mr. Brown, right? Because green represents wealth and money, right? Well, we know what brown represents. All right, so let me share with you my screen with you, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So this is what we call sequence of return risk. And what you're going to see here in front of you is two different people, and they are they are retired at age 65. They both have $1 million in their account value, and the sequence of return. This is an up market for Mr. Green. So you can see positive return, one little negative, positive, positive, positive. But what we did was we showed how over this 25 years, his million is now 4,288,197. So if we average all the highs and lows here, it's an average return of 6%. Now, what we did with Mr. Brown was we simply took these rates of returns and we reversed them. We just totally flipped them upside down. So Mr. Brown starts out at negative 25, negative 14, negative 10. So this is why we have a down market start. Now watch what happens to Mr. Brown. Same $1 million, right? We flipped it over all the way down 25 years, 4,288,197. Now you might think, why? Well, it's very simple because the average return was 6%. All right. So this is math. All right. And math says 6%, $1 million, 25 years, 4,288,197. But what I'm going to share with you is money isn't math and math isn't money. All right. And I'm going to give an example because let's just say Mr. Green and Mr. Brown are in retirement and they need to take, let's say, 5% a year from their $1 million to live on from 65 to 90. How would that change their retirement? All right. So let me show you the next slide. Sorry, wrong slide. It's the same slide. Here we go. Ta-da. Here we go. Now, let's see what's different here. Mr. Green is on the distribution side of the mountain. He has to make his money last him for the rest of his life. So he's going to take out a 5% annual withdrawal, which equals $50,000 per year starting in age 66. Now, the rates of return were exactly as they were on the first page. You see that? Positive 5, positive 28, etc., all the way down. Now, he's taking out $50,000 a year to supplement his retirement, starting with $1 million. Now, watch how this ends up. After taking out all that money, Because he's in an up market when he starts, his portfolio balance is still $2,517,217. Right? There's that 6% again, right? Okay. Now let's go to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is starting in a down market. All right. So here's the difference. He's taking the same exact 5% withdrawals, $50,000 per year. All we did was we flipped this over. We did the inverse of the returns from Mr. Green. So he's starting off in a down market, minus 25, minus 14, minus 10, etc. Okay. Watch this. Boom, 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 boom. Because of these first 3 down years, his account value is down a whole bunch. He went from $1 million to 446,800 in 3 years. Look at this. At age 82, his account value was only $45,221. At 83, he runs out of money. Mr. Brown is down. He's broke. This is the difference with return risk. In retirement, there's tons of risks, right? There's interest rate risk. There's return risk. There's tax risk. There's probably 4 or 5 other risks that I can't think of off the top of my head. But my responsibility is to really educate people and understand, how do you prevent this kind of disaster from happening? They had the exact same amount of money. They took the exact same risk to get there. But because of the way the market returns occurred, one guy is prosperous, living a full retirement, has money left over. Another guy runs out of money at age 83. All right. This is why you can't do it yourself. This is why you need to have a professional really be able to give you that advice and give you that understanding about all the multiple risks that take place in retirement, to really ensure that you can live the lifestyle that you've acquired up to the point of retirement. Well, thanks for listening to today, guys. I really appreciate your time. And remember, wealth strategy to value.